Welcome to Live Edge, episode number next. I'm Matt.
I'm Amy.
Welcome to the show. Tonight, we got a special guest with us. I'm excited to have him. This is Nick Stark from BossDogGlue.com. Hey, Nick.
Hey, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
And we're glad you're here. If you don't know, Nick started his very own wood glue company to go up against the big dogs. Get it? And he's doing it, from what I can tell, out of your garage or your shop.
Yep, so I've got a 900 square foot woodworking shop, which is my main job as a woodworker, content creator. And I've kind of stolen about a third of that away so far for the glue company. And I've set up, I've got a couple filling machines, and we're just knocking them out in the shop.
Nice. So you stated there you were a woodworker first, right?
Correct, yep.
So how long have you been woodworking?
So, funny story. So in 2013, my wife and I actually got real into the tiny house on wheels movement.
Uh-oh.
And we actually built our own tiny house on wheels. And that's prior to that, I had no knowledge of woodworking and tool experience.
That's
That's
cool.
pretty cool.
So it took us, I think, only like 4 to 5 months to complete the build. And we actually lived in it for 3 years. It was a 185 square feet, and
Wow.
we lived in it, and it was awesome. But
Wasn't there a song?
never really,
Wasn't there a song, something about love grows in small houses or something? Old country song.
I couldn't go back to it now, but it was definitely an experience, and it was fun.
I bet.
That is so
But
cool.
in 2015, I started building furniture, and ever since then, I've been full-time with furniture building.
So I started following you a while back on TikTok, of all places. That's where I started following you. You got a pretty good-sized following there. And you were giving tips, tricks, and showing stuff you were building. That's where I first come to know you, I guess, over the internet. And then we met in Atlanta a few months ago. So what made you decide, okay, I'm going to make wood glue now?
So over my woodworking career, I've used just about every glue that's out there and tried them out, and there's some awesome glues out there. There was different aspects of different glues that I liked, but they weren't in the same bottle together. So I wanted to, over time, I thought about it a lot and was wondering if it was possible to produce glue and put all of those attributes into one bottle. And that's kind of where Boss Dog started. I did a lot of research. I quickly figured out that it wasn't something that I could just do, like, in my kitchen or in my shop by myself, the production portion of it. I started researching, and there was a few times where I gave up, and I was like, I don't think this is going to be possible. But I found eventually a local manufacturer that was about 30 minutes from my shop and my house. I reached out to them and got in contact with them, and I worked alongside them and their chemist to develop the formula that we have now. We went back and forth with a bunch of different options until we found what we were looking for, and it's been rolling ever since then. We launched in January, and it's been awesome.
That's awesome. Man, I told you on the members only stream that I'm so proud for you. You can tell you've put a lot of hard work and effort into it, not just trying to come up with the formula that goes right, but your branding and your website and everything. So I know how much work goes into that. So kudos.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So,
and those things weren't something I really took into consideration when I got started. I was just trying to find the glue, and then I was like, all this other stuff started adding on, and it became a lot more than I expected, but I've had a blast doing it.
One thing I've seen in helping others kind of grow their stuff is if you just start, you'll figure it out. But if you sit back and be like, well, I got to have this, I got to have this, I got to have this, you'll never start because it gets too much. And so the fact, you know because you've done it, you just started and you figured it out along the way. And that's, I think, the best way to do it.
Yeah, exactly.
So we always get a lot of questions. STL had a question on the member stream we didn't get answered, but he wanted to know, is it waterproof?
So right now our formula is considered moisture resistant, not fully waterproof. So I don't recommend for exterior use just because of the climate change and all of the moisture, potential rain. But interior use, we're FDA compliant for cutting boards. We have a ton of people that use them on cutting boards and just haven't reached the waterproof. We're working on some things now, but it takes a while to test everything and get it just right before. We want to take our time with things if we come out with new products. I don't want to just rush just to get it out there.
One thing I think that you're doing that's unique that I haven't seen any other glue company doing is you're offering a subscription model, correct?
Yes, that's correct. Yep.
Tell us about that.
So we have what we call our double dog deals, kind of plays with the Boss Dog name. On our website, it's different matchups between different sizes where you would get, there's one right there actually. So you get 10% off if you purchase one of the double dog deals, but also if you make it a monthly subscription, you get an additional 5%. So you get 15% off every month, every purchase, and all of our orders are free shipping within the US.
Awesome. Now I see 2 different colors there. You can choose from 2 different colors, looks like.
Yep, so we started with our original, which is the tan color. It dries tan, and then about a couple weeks ago, we just launched our clear dry. So it goes on white and dries clear. It's the same formula, just a different color.
How long can they stay open?
Open as far as like a shelf life, or
I think so.
assembly?
Robert.
Well, the
Cork
open time on your
the
glue.
open time.
Okay, yeah. So our total assembly time is 10 to 15 minutes. So that's like how long you have to work with it before you need to finish and get your clamp set and let it dry for 24 hours. So that's 10 to 15 minutes it's a pretty good amount of time unless you have something that's really, really intricate.
Yeah. And the smaller bottles, were they 16 ounce? Correct.
So we have a 16. We also have a 8.5 as well, but the 16 is what you would probably see more often. Yeah.
Does the 8.5 and the 16 have that same top on them? I like that top.
Yeah. Yep. It's interchangeable. It's the same size, same top. People really like it. It helps the flow. You can control. It's an easy open twist top, so you can kind of set the flow of how much comes out of the bottle. So.
Yep. Yeah, I like it. When I was using it on that last project, I was like, man, I like that top a lot better than a lot of them are twisty tops or pull tops rather, or pull tops, and those tend to get stuck and all that stuff.
Right.
Charles and Amanda Posey have already ordered the double dog deal. They placed an order for it. So.
Putting some girl power in there.
Yeah. Well, she said Charles did it, but that's okay. Girl power anyway.
I appreciate it.
So I have a question.
Okay.
Where did the name come from? Because I see the picture of a dog on there, and it's called Boss Dog. So
Boss was actually my best friend. When I graduated high school, I joined a local college baseball team, and I moved into my own apartment on my own, and thought it was a good idea to adopt a 2-month-old black lab. And I was 18 and didn't know what I was doing. But yeah, Boss lived to be 15 years old. He was my best friend, so it kind of is the perfect fit, like the bond that I developed with him. When I was naming the glue company, I was trying to figure something that meant a lot to me, that was represented a strong bond, and I couldn't think of anything better.
Oh, I love it. It's awesome.
We're dog people, so I love that.
David Johnson wants to know, will your glue take on stain?
So no, it's not stainable. We recommend sanding off any excess glue before you stain your project.
And most wood glues are like that.
Yeah. There are some that do take stain, but they don't. It doesn't match typically normally with the wood.
Kyle wants to know if it's waterproof. We answered that previously, Kyle. You may have missed it, but no, it's not waterproof for outdoor use, but it's water resistant.
Did you see Justin 3D?
Justin 3D wants to know, is there any different application other than for wood?
No, is there than any other wood glue?
Oh, is there any different application than any other wood glue? Basically, what's the difference, I guess, is versus competition?
Okay, gotcha. So with our formula, we kind of combined all of our favorite attributes of different glues. One of them being our color. So our color is more of like a light tan color. You won't really find it on the normal glues that you're used to using. It blends in a little better, I think, with the majority of wood species, especially your darker hardwoods and stuff like that. So that's one thing that kind of sets us apart. And also, Matt had mentioned earlier, our twist top. It just makes for much better application. You have way more control. You don't lose as much glue or waste as much glue on your project. So that's another thing that kind of sets us apart as well.
Tommy Robertson wants to know, and I know we just talked about this, but he may not have been on there. First of all, Tommy, thank you for what you said, but wants to know if it's good for cutting boards.
Yes, so we are FDA compliant, so we're compliant for indirect food contact after the glue's dry. So just like all of your other wood glues that are recommended for cutting boards, we pass all the same standards there. And we're moisture resistant, so we can withstand some moisture. Just don't leave it outside in the rain overnight and you'll be just fine.
Tommy Robertson wants to know the price. If you go to his website, TommyBossDogGlue.com, you'll see that there's, depending on the size bottles and the amount that you order, the prices are listed right there on the site.
Marvin Huddleston also just ordered a double dog deal.
Awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Marvin.
Appreciate it, Marvin.
Locust. Did you see right there?
Yeah, Locust Grove Woodcraft wants to know, what is the Type Bond equivalent to yours? Closest comparable.
So closest comparable would be 2, just because we're not fully waterproof, but we're also not. I don't recommend for exterior. So we're kind of a matchup of all 3 of the most popular Type Bonds. But if you had to compare it to one specific one, we'd be closer to Type Bond 2.
And which color, tan or clear, is better to mix with sawdust to fill cracks?
Ooh, I would probably, well, it depends on what type of wood you're using. But to be safe, I would say the tan, just because it's closer to an actual wood color itself. But it also does really depend on what species of wood and what color it is.
And STL wants to know if you have any plans to come out with a dark glue.
So we've got some things in the works, and that is one of them. But we're still in the testing and all of that phase right now. But yes, there's definitely plans for a dark glue, and that should be Robert, the next.
Oh yeah, that'd be good. Any wood species it will not work well with. In other words, woods with high oil content.
Yeah, some exotic woods, as you guys know, have a really high oil content, and being a PVA glue, it's water based, so water and oil don't tend to mix that well. So if it's a really, really oily exotic wood, your best bet might be more of like an epoxy style glue for something like that.
Another trick you can do is wipe it down with some acetone before you glue it up and it'll remove the surface glue or surface oil off of it.
Marvin Huddleston wants to know if it's safe for children's toys. They're wooden toys.
It's FDA compliant after it's dry, so it'd be the same as non-food contact with the thing, so I would assume.
Yeah, I don't state on our bottle for like children's toys, just for safety purposes, but it is non-toxic and FDA compliant, cleans up with water, but I wouldn't recommend, a child eating it or anything like that.
There are kids that do that.
Rainwater Cold says, can it be used for exterior projects? It's not exterior grade, so not waterproof, but it's water resistant.
Moisture resistant.
Right.
Yeah, moisture resistant.
Yeah, and we are working
Paul
on
Ellis
some
also
other
scored a double dog deal.
Nice.
A lot of people scoring those.
And I know some of you joined us late, but you go to bossdogglue.com to check him out. But he's got subscription models too. So if you're using a lot of glue, you can get gallons delivered on a regular basis. And then if not, you can get the 16-ounce delivered on a regular basis. So you're always don't worry about running out of glue and having to go to the depot and grab some more or anything like that. Or if you're like me, you're lucky if you can find glue in the town. So we're 90 miles from Home Depot. Justin 3D says, do you think you will sell other accessories on your site eventually, like applicators, rollers, etc.?
So, yeah, we actually do have our Boss brush now, which is a silicone glue brush. So that's one applicator that we already have available right now on our website. I've been looking into rollers. I haven't gotten that far yet, but it's definitely something that I'm interested in as well.
Is there a best way or recommended way to store your glue?
Yeah, so basically if you store it above freezing in a cool room or a normal room, you'll be fine. You just don't want to use it if it's been frozen, or we don't recommend using under 55 degrees if the air temperature is under 55, or if the wood you're using it is under 55 degrees, because there's something called a chalk temp, which if the air is that cold, it kind of messes with the polymers as the water leaves the glue and the polymers go to bind. It kind of could leave you with a chalky residue. Every glue has a chalk temp. It's always stated on the back of the bottle, but most times it's above 55 degrees.
You want to read?
Courtney Cox has a question. I sometimes use tape, brad nails, and of course clamps when gluing. What is your recommended clamping pressure and the best options?
So it really would depend on what project you're working on, what species of wood. Is it a hardwood, a softwood? I think we would recommend, like 100 to 125 PSI. So just your normal clamp, I wouldn't overdo it.
Yeah, you can use it just like regular other wood glue, wherever you'd use that.
Right.
It's just basically the same.
Uncle Jim, the tank, I think they talked about that a few minutes ago. You may have missed it. The working time you said was around 15 minutes?
Yeah, so
Right.
10 to 15 minutes is our total like open assembly time. So that's how long you have to work with it.
Okay.
Locust Grove wanted to know if you offer affiliates at any point in the future.
So we do actually have an affiliate program right now. And if you reach out to us on Instagram, just via message, or you can email us, send it right to our email on our website, support@bossdogglue.com. We can get you hooked up with the affiliate link.
Awesome. Also, do you know what the shelf life of the glue is? Brandon Lee.
So we recommend, 1 year is what we recommend right now. We've had some last longer, but that's just where we recommend just to be safe.
Robert, shelf life on the open bottle is not going to be very long. Closed bottle is 1 year.
Yeah, keep it closed and you're good to go.
Are you planning any epoxies?
See, I don't know how I want to answer these questions because I do have some things in the works, but they're not 100% yet.
Stay tuned.
To be announced.
Yeah, right.
TBA.
To be announced. I will say that I'm not going to. It won't be any like deep pour epoxies, anything like that. No tabletops. More of closer to your 5-minute epoxy or something like along those lines.
Yeah, that'd be good. Jan, says, how hard is it to manufacture the wood glue? Thinking about expanding my business from Europe and a lot of choices for quality glues over there.
So the manufacturing process for wood glue is a little bit difficult, especially if you're trying to do it in a larger bulk process. So we work with a local manufacturer that's been creating and making water-based adhesives since 1988, and lucky enough for me, they allowed me in and joined forces and helped me out with this one. So I would recommend trying to find something like that near you.
Or contact Nick. Making
Josiah,
maybe we can figure it out.
Josiah, there is one version of it that dries clear. It's the white bottle.
Yep, it says clear dry on the bottle. Mm-hmm. Nick, you do have a YouTube channel. Justin 3D wants to know.
Yes, Nick's Custom Woodworks.
Yeah, he's on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook. So just search Nick's Custom Woodworks, you'll find him. Somebody asked about tested the pressure before it breaks, and then how strong is it? Do you know I don't know what even you would call that, the breaking point?
Yeah, so I personally haven't had it hooked up to like a machine to test the numbers, but the manufacturer that produces our glue, they test it to a certain point. And I know like you'll see on normal glues, there'll be something like a 4,000 PSI or a 3750, and ours came in at like a 38 to 3,900. But it's
typically
all
when
subjective.
you glue wood together, the wood will break apart before the glue does. So,
yeah, and that definitely happens with ours.
So, nobody's asked this. This is my question. What's been your struggles getting this business going, coming out of your own shop? You know, like this is like you're bootstrapping this by yourself or you and your family, and that's awesome. It's admirable. I love it. And you're going up against some heavy hitters too in the wood glue business. So, what's been the struggle?
So the biggest struggle I think for me is it took off a lot faster than I really expected it to. The support from the woodworking community has just been amazing, especially on social media platforms. and I'm super grateful. Like people have been sharing and using. So I think the biggest struggle though is I was still full time furniture making for local customers around my local area, and I do content creating like you guys do as well. So when the glue picked up so fast, I was definitely overwhelmed with the amount of orders, trying to get them out of the door, bottle the glue. And I don't know if you've noticed or you've seen my earlier videos, I was bottling out of a 5-gallon bucket into individual bottles before I got our bottle filler. But since then, I've actually stopped taking custom orders for the area. I'm focusing strictly on content and wood glue now.
It's awesome. I knew that was coming.
Yeah. It's kind of good too because I got to the point, you know, I mean, I love woodworking, but it got to where it was the job, like making cabinets and installing built-in entertainment centers, and so now I get to choose what I build when I do build something.
Yeah.
James Nino has been a member of our One Before Supporter Club for 27 months,
Thank you,
and he
James.
says he cannot wait to buy some glue and try it out.
That's awesome, man. Thank you.
Thank you, James. I appreciate it.
Yeah, we did something similar when everything started taking off. We had to make decisions on, you know, what to let go because you only have this much time in the day and you have to decide where that time is going to be spent. And so kudos to you for making that decision. I know it's not easy.
And when he said that he was making it or pouring it into bottles out of a 5-gallon bucket, do you know what that made me think of?
Yeah, our board butter.
Our board butter when we were cooking it in a crock pot, the little crock pot.
It would take forever to melt.
And we had to move
dipping it out.
Yeah. That's the first thing I thought of.
So what's been the best part about starting this glue company?
The best part, most definitely the people. The woodworking community, like I said before, has been super supportive and amazing. But meeting so many new woodworkers and getting to talk with people, because I've put myself out there a lot more with Boss Dog, messaging and commenting and interacting, and it's just been amazing just to meet and talk with so many new woodworkers and like-minded people. So
from a content person, how are you balancing Nick's Custom Woodwork social and Boss Dog social? How you doing all that?
It's not fun, to be honest, because I worked so long. You guys know, building your 731 woodwork. So I was the same with mine. It's just you get it to a point and you're like, all right, this is great. Let's keep doing this. And then you add another social media source, and it's working. I try to post on both multiple times a day. I tend to lean more towards the Boss Dog right now, honestly, just because it's the new thing and it's my new baby now, I guess.
Yeah. Well, and that when you have your own thing, it has to have its own social presence too, because not everybody is going to land on Nick's and know, okay, he's making the wood glue, and you have to have stuff you can run ads on with the other stuff. If you running ads on Facebook or Instagram or anything like that, they have to have their own thing. And it has to be built up.
It's extremely hard to find a balance there when you've already kind of settled into something and then you add something new on top of it, and that something new takes up just as much time as everything else you were doing. So I get it.
You hit it on
there. Fraser Morrison had a question. He said, you had mentioned that you were getting set up on Amazon. Is that ready to go? I'm asking as I just went to order a bottle of glue and the shipping cost to Canada is more than the glue.
So we are set up on Amazon, but I believe currently it's only U.S. right now. If you don't mind, I'm sorry, what was his name? Was it
Fraser Morrison?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't mind, send me an email to support@bossdogglue.com and let me know, and I will recheck that shipping rate, because sometimes it is auto-generated through our website, and it might be giving you a number higher than it should be.
Ours do that too.
I don't know where it went. I just put it
in
the
chat.
Fraser, support@bossdogglue.com. I put it in the chat box too.
Thank you.
It is really hard. We're trying to figure out how to ship to Canada also when it comes to Faith Valley. So it's
insane how much it costs just to drive
ridiculous
across an imaginary line.
Right. I have a distributor that's really close to the border in Canada. There, you would think, I'm in Florida, they're in northern Michigan, that it wouldn't be as expensive, but it was $1 cheaper for them to ship it than me from Florida.
Wow.
So
that's crazy. El Mago, wants to know, do you have any videos on your channel about the glue making process?
Excuse me. On YouTube, I've got a short video on why we started and how, but not actually the glue making process. A lot of our Boss Dog videos are on our Instagram page and Facebook, and I just started my own Boss Dog TikTok page as well.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I've seen a bunch of that content on your page and on the Boss Dog page where y'all are filling bottles. And I was watching you struggle with the 5-gallon bucket with the little tap in it. It was like painfully slow, and you're getting all these orders, and they're like, and then you got.
I was out there till like 1 o'clock in the morning pouring bottles.
Oh, you got that glue filler. I bet that was fantastic. You're like, oh, yes.
We actually just got a second one too, so we have 2 now.
Oh, nice.
So we went from it taking about 1 minute per 16-ounce bottle with our 5-gallon bucket to 5 seconds to fill 2 with one machine. So now we've got 2 machines. We could pretty much fill 4 bottles in 5 seconds.
I got a prediction for you. I think you're only a few months away from having to get another space.
I know.
Probably
I'm feeling it.
People. That's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Right. Yeah.
We've way outgrown our space.
Yeah, we've been out it. Now, Grant Butler wants to know if you white labeled it or it's your own glue mix.
That's a good question.
Yeah, so we actually worked with our manufacturer to come up with this specific formula. So it's not a white labeled product. We didn't just take their product and put our label on it.
Yeah.
It's actually our own formula that we worked with them on.
It's awesome. And what main ingredient makes it PVA glue?
So PVA actually stands for polyvinyl acetate, which is like a rubbery type polymer. So basically the ingredients are water and polyvinyl acetate, and they're mixed together. And when the water evaporates, the polymers start to bind together, and that's kind of how you get your bond, which is why it's able to seep into the wood pores. And then that water evaporates and leaves, and those polymers are stuck together.
How's your wife handling all this?
So when I just got to a point like with the social media where I was able to dial back the furniture building stuff a lot, and I was taking on like 1 order a month for local clients, and then just working on content. And so I had actually some extra time, and we were like, all right, this is great. And then probably 2 weeks later, I came to her with the idea, and she said yes. I don't think she expected it to actually do anything. But now she's kind of taken over the role of, as I told you earlier, the smart stuff, the stuff that I'm not able to do, the websites, the money stuff, the branding, all of that stuff she helps with. Or else I would just be out there pouring glue and
So does she do this full time with you, or does she have another job too?
So she's full time helping me. She has been for a few years now, helping me with both businesses. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Fraser, I just got your email, so I'll look into that Canada stuff as well.
Damon, she is stuck by his side the whole time.
That's right.
See, there's another one.
You know, for me, leaving my career, because that's what I had a career, coming home to be part of his dream and his career, it's very different, but yeah, it's a big adjustment. I think it was for me. I'm still adjusting to it. I love it.
Yeah,
would not change it for the world, but it's a huge adjustment. I don't know.
I couldn't. I'm sure you're the same way. I couldn't do what I do or what we do without her. Like it's a team effort. It's like we're working together, and we get along like exceptionally well.
Do.
And we actually like being around each other all the time. So it worked out. And we always said, man, I wish we could just work together every day. It'd be so amazing.
We always wish we could be paid just to love each other. So
there you go.
We joke all the time and say, we got our dream. We're being, I don't know.
So it's great.
We're corny like that, though.
No, it's great. Awesome. It's working.
Yeah. We just genuinely like to be together. And people think we're crazy. They're like, you don't get tired of each other? No, not yet.
No,
right.
25
I
years
understand.
in, I'm not tired of them yet. I don't know.
Reed Allen wants
Why
to know how about
sticky fingers. Yes, Damon, we do. We have very sticky fingers. I do.
Reed Allen wants to know how about making a CA glue. He hasn't found a brand that he likes yet. That's a different animal, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but it's something that I've may or may not have looked into. So just stay tuned.
I think you got some good things coming, man.
Yeah.
I just, like I said, I wanted you to come on here just to get your name out there, and I liked your product. I ordered it for myself, and wanted to try it for myself, and then I used it. I liked it, and then I've been following you for a long time on Instagram or on social media anyway.
I love the name,
the
story
names,
behind
the branding,
it,
everything
the
is just great.
branding, everything. I love
Thank
it.
you.
The fact that you're doing it all out of your shop by yourself, or using your wife, and just bootstrapping.
I kind of don't want it to have to leave it, leave the shop thing, but eventually it's growing, so I can't keep it there, I guess.
It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm so proud for you. You got to check him out. BossDogGlue.com. He has all different sizes of glue. There's a few colors, and
hey,
yeah,
you know what time it is.
Power tip time. But
we didn't miss it this week.
No, we didn't. But we're going to give it to Nick because the guests always do the power tip. Surprise.
Oh, okay. I don't know what I'm doing, but let's do it.
Let's do it.
Give us a power tip. It could be about life. It could be about business. Anything. It could be about wood glue. It could be whatever you want. Whatever strikes your mind.
Okay, so this kind of goes back to what we were talking about, juggling a bunch of different jobs. You had this, you had social media, you have multiple different things going on. Excuse me. When I was at Workbench Con, I was actually talking with Tyson Moore. I'm sure you know Tyson Moore. And he had mentioned comparing it to an analogy, and I might say this wrong, but you're juggling different balls, and some of these balls are glass, and some are plastic. Which ones bounce back when you drop them? So I kind of associated that with having all of these things on my plate, which, furniture, social media content, woodworking, and then now the glue. If I dropped one of those, which one would bounce back if I needed it to, and which would break and be gone? So I kind of chose, I could always go back to building furniture for clients. That was what ball I dropped. That was plastic. So if that makes any sense, hopefully that's your...
I love that.
Okay,
Never heard that ever. And I love it.
Yep. That's amazing, man.
That could be used in so many ways.
I know.
It's
profound.
Yeah,
it is.
That's really good. I like that.
I love that. I'm over here like, holy crap, I've never heard that. That's amazing.
Well, I can't take credit for it. I just heard it from somebody else too and remembered it because it stuck with me.
Yeah. It stuck with you, I guess.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Well, y'all check out Nick, BossDogGlue.com. It's linked in the description. It's also pinned to the comment here. You go check him out. Try some of his wood glue, and then let us know what you think about it.
Great Grandpa said that he ordered some already and has used it, and he really likes it. So
good deal. Thank you, Great Grandpa.
Thanks, Grandpa. Appreciate that.
Several people wanted to know how they missed you at Workbench Con.
Yeah.
I was hiding. No, there's a lot of people there and a lot of stuff to do, and you get overwhelmed with whoever's around you. And
yeah, for sure.
Definitely miss.
Nick, thank you so much for coming on tonight, man. I really appreciate it.
It was really nice talking to you.
You too. I really appreciate you guys having me on, and best of luck. Thank you guys.
All right,
Thank
man.
you.
Have a good night.
Have a good night.
I love that.
All right, y'all, don't run off. We're gonna throw up a Sawdust Spotlight for this week, and here we go. Well, let's just go ahead and do it. Let's do it. Ready? Sawdust Spotlight this week's more of a tip than a spotlight. Yeah. And I'm not picking on you. I'm just giving people a tip. Mm-hmm. Check this out. We got this posted on our Facebook community. He says, tip of the day, don't put too much wood on the right side of your table saw fence when the legs are already broken off. It may tip over. It did tip over. That's terrible. I'm sorry that happened to you. Yep. It looks like with the dust coming up, it looks like it literally just happened and you took the picture.
Well, and I have to say, it looks like his name's John Henniger. It looks like he's trying to find the humor in it, by posting it.
Yeah.
Like tip of the day there. So
we appreciate you sharing your tip.
Sometimes you just have to kind of
roll with the punches.
Yes.
Roll with the punches.
We've been punched a lot in the last couple of weeks, so we get it.
We got it.
I like that. Everybody wants to know if they can get a big dog or a boss dog sticker with online orders. We should have asked him that.
I should have asked him that.
That would have been a good question to ask. So
let me text him and we'll find out an answer.
If Nick is still on here, he can drop it in the comments. If not, you can text him and ask him.
Where is his text? I texted him a while ago.
I don't know. Oh, okay. He's going to ask him really quick. Maybe they had a video going crazy. Oh, that would be crazy. Oh, Reed Allen said, I thought it was on fire at first.
Yeah, I did too.
Yeah, it kind of
I
looked
thought it was too at first, but it didn't.
Aw. So thank you, Michael Mason. He
Thank you,
says,
Michael.
in case
Appreciate
this
it.
can be useful, a little help for y'all. Hi from Lil Becca, who's
Hey,
here
Lil
now.
Becca.
Hey, Lil Becca.
Thank
Lil
y'all.
Becca, your pictures in the last week or so, those pictures that your mom has posted have been so cute. Oh, my goodness. I'm telling y'all, this little girl is just, she's so pretty.
Yes, every direct order from their website, bossdogglue.com, gets a sticker.
There you go.
There's the answer.
There you go. Yeah, it did kind of look like it was on fire at first. That was kind of rough. Barry Lane says, in life, we all tend to drop that ball about ourselves and keep juggling for others. Yep.
Hey, man, I'm telling you, Nick's a good guy.
I loved that,
Yeah, I
though.
did too. I met him in person for the first time at Workbench Con in March, but before that, I'd been following him for a couple of years, probably on Instagram and TikTok, and talked to him here
I've
there.
heard about Boss Dog Glue for a while now.
Yeah, and
from him.
when he launched it in January, I thought, man, this is fantastic. This guy's working out of his shop, starting his own glue company. And like seriously, if you go back on his Instagram, you can see like he had just a couple of bottles or a few bottles, 20, 30 bottles in there. And then a month later, there's like 100 bottles in there. In the last video, there was like a couple hundred bottles in there. He's filling like every day. They fill the bottle. Go check out his Instagram, Nick's Custom Woodworking or Boss Dog Glue Company. They fill the bottle, they put the top on, and they put the label on, all by hand right now. They're literally bootstrapping this from the ground up. They're doing everything by hand. They're packing it by hand, and then they're shipping it out. Fantastic. So you can support a small American-based, American-made glue company with very good pricing.
The story, though.
You can get a subscription model where you sign up for a subscription where you get, if you're using a bunch of glue or, a bottle a month or something. Just fantastic.
Yeah.
BossDogGlue.com. Yeah. Nick was awesome. Thank you, Nick. All right. Well, we'll let you go. Go check out BossDogGlue.com.
Yep. And Damon, yes, we are closer to that TNT date for Houston.
Yep. Tools and Tailgate's coming up in
Kansas City
first in June. If you go to 731woodworks.com/tools and tailgates, there are RSVPs for Houston, Kansas City, and Atlanta.
Devin, that's cool. Said, sorry, just logging in, but I just saw your video on leaving the troopers and jumping into the 731 journey.
Thank you, Devin.
It's been a cool journey. He jumped in a few years before me, but it really is cool to get to do this together.
Yep,
and as
amazing.
long as God allows us to, I'm
That's right.
enjoying it. So you never know.
All right. Well, y'all have a good week.
Yep. Good night, guys.
See ya.